All right, welcome to the SpaceX Bagholder Podcast. I'm your number one bag holder, Smelly Fingernail. So today in this video, we're going to be talking about the things that SpaceX needs to get done by the end of 2026 to be on track for the $300 target I put on it by the end of 2027, January 2028. So these are the things that I think SpaceX, like if I want to keep the trade on, again, I put $100,000 on an options trade that prints 10x if SpaceX is $300 in January 2028, and I'll keep the trade on basically if the things in this video happens. Like if there's a few stutters along the way, I have to really evaluate the position on whether or not I'm going to keep it or not. So here we go. So these are going to be in order chronologically in what I think will happen. Now, the first thing is Flight 14 launches. I think this will happen August 28th. That's the current no earlier than dates. I think static fires are happening this week. So this shouldn't be too far away. Now, what needs to happen here is a successful orbital payload deployment. And the optional part, certainly it's very good if it happens. It's slated to happen. It's a ship being caught. I also think this is fairly likely, and a stretch goal is a booster being caught. Now, the booster is, I really don't think they're even going to try this, but I only put this on this list because there's like an FCC filing where they indicated it might happen. There's no other indication that it might happen, and like I really don't see it happening because they haven't even done a soft splashdown yet in the Gulf. So like why would they try it immediately on the stand? And then they're gonna try to catch the ship right afterwards. Like imagine the booster comes down, right? And then it blows up the pad. Like where's the ship gonna land? So like there's no way, I don't think that's gonna happen. So we'll keep that there as a stretch goal. But really what we want is just a successful orbital payload deployment. They're gonna deploy a commercial payload here of their own Starlink V3s, and this is very important for narrative reasons. Now, if you watch my earlier videos on why I think SpaceX will go to 300 by January 2028, you know the story is all compute. It's all data center build out and selling that gigawatts of data center build out for $50 billion a gigawatt. So what does this have to do with it? It doesn't have to do with that story exactly, but it's more of a vibe thing. Like the Starship, which is the primary R&D thing happening on the space side, this needs to go well optically in order for the stock to do well. Even if my entire thesis is based off of terrestrial compute data center build out, if Starship blows itself up, then the stock is going to go down. So what am I going to do? Like you have to understand that there's a huge amount of vibes in how SpaceX trades, and in order for the vibes to be good, this chip needs to land. So that's that, right? So like Flight 14, it needs to deploy the orbital payload for sure, and then hopefully the ship is caught. Now, this is really the one that I don't think people will see coming, but I do need it in order for the thesis to play out, and that's Microsoft signing a compute deal with SpaceX. I have this optimistically timed for September, October. The timing, I'll explain. It's because of OpenAI's Astra release. Astra, I think that's the next big model from them. It's supposed to be their challenger to Mythos or Fable from Anthropic. I think this is going to be their GPT-6. It's going to be a large model. It's going to require a lot of compute. Now, the problem here, okay, well, how do I explain this? There's SpaceX, in order for SpaceX to reach to sell all of its gigawatts of compute that I think it's going to build, right? I think SpaceX is going to get 8 gigawatts of compute by the end of 2027, and it needs to sell all that compute. It cannot sell all of that compute to Anthropic alone. So right now, SpaceX has a number of deals. Anthropic is one of them. Google is one of them, like Perplexity, a bunch of smaller players. They have a secret deal that they not disclosing who the client is, but we're going to assume that's the Pentagon. So like the Pentagon, that's stable. Anthropic, you're going to assume that's stable because they're still going to do good. But Google, they're really dropping out of the frontier model business, right? So like, will Google still need compute from SpaceX in 2027 and beyond, that's a little bit iffy. So in order for SpaceX to make the money here, they really need to get the other American frontier model company, OpenAI, on board as a customer. Now, of course, the problem here is that Sam Altman and Elon Musk hate each other, right? So there's no way they're going to deal with each other directly. That would be the cleanest way, but that's not going to happen. Luckily, there's an offshoot here. Microsoft can serve all of OpenAI's products, and Microsoft needs to compute because Microsoft decided a couple years back not to do the CapEx spend that the rest of the hyperscalers are doing. They wanted to be responsible with the CapEx spend, but then they ended up with not enough data centers. So hopefully what happens here is that when GPT-6 is released, Microsoft will need compute to be able to serve inference there, and they can sign a deal with SpaceX to get them some extra compute. Elon Musk has no beef with Satya Nadella, so SpaceX can sign with Microsoft, and it'll be a proxy for OpenAI. So it's basically getting OpenAI as a customer without Elon having to deal with Sam. And then we'll take a look at what the gigawatt number here is. I put some stretch goals needed, like basically the current going rate is 50 billion. That's what Anthropic and Google are paying. So we don't want to see that number go down, especially since Anthropic and Google signed their deals earlier in the year. So ideally, if demand has been growing faster than supply of compute, which is what we're assuming is happening, like the number might even go up. But we'll see if, we just wanted this deal to happen at all and it to be anywhere near 50 billion. And this will be worth like a mega pump if it happens. Now, the timing, like I put it September, October, because that's when GPT-6 is going to come out. But now that I think about it, like, will SpaceX even have the excess compute at that point in time to be able to sell? That's a bit questionable. Like, at some point, SpaceX will have the extra compute to sell, but will it be at this time? I actually don't know. But, like, we do definitely want to see the top two American frontier companies in business with SpaceX. That's the only way they're going to be able to sell the compute for the amount of money that we need in order for SpaceX to hit 300 in January 2028. So that's that side. The next thing is Grok 4.7 needs to come out late September, early October. So Elon says that like it's going to be 1 month from like last week, but like we're going to add like another half a month to that. 4.7 is supposed to be their new model. 4.6 is very good, right? But it's not at the frontier yet. 4.7 is a new pre-train at a higher parameter count, 2.1 trillion parameter count. And we're looking for this to be better than Fable 5 and Sol 5.6. And like, again, it's going to be better for like a nanosecond. And then as soon as it's released, Anthropic will come out on top with their new one, or Astra will come out. Astra might come out even before this. That's from OpenAI, and it'll be better than whatever 4.7 is. But we just want to see continual iterative progress from SpaceX in terms of their Grok quality here. Mythos and Fable, those were done all the way back in like February, right? So like if in September SpaceX comes out with a model that's better than it, like it seems like it's a big thing, and really it is a big thing, but it's not going to be top dog. So like we're just looking for incremental progress. If you have a Fable 5 quality model out and then it's first party and you can serve inference on it again, and then like there's significant demand, that first party demand is worth more than Anthropic paying you for the compute or Microsoft paying you for the compute. So like it's worth more if this is good and there's more demand. Now luckily there are some signs of demand even for 4.6 because Cursor's product team is very good and their bot product, I'm hearing a lot of good noise from it, but then again it's really a bubble because everybody I'm hearing that it's good from are like huge SpaceX boosters to begin with. So like really how much credence are you going to give that endorsement? I have not used this myself because I'm not honestly, I'm not going to connect all my work stuff to this quite yet. we're gonna let this run for a bit. I don't want to connect all my any work stuff to a model that's less than Fable 5 because that's what I currently use for work. So like to suddenly have an MCP connector to anything that's important using a 4.6 tier model, we'll let other people test that first. But anyways, we want to see 4.7 released in late September. If it's a Fable quality model, then that's what we're looking for. Next, now this is definitely going to happen, which is the first GAAP profitable quarter being Q3 of 2026. It's going to be profitable, and it's going to be profitable by a lot. I think around 2 billion or so. thing is, this is not really a surprise. I think most people are calling for this. If you look at analysts, most people do think this is going to happen, and I think it's going to happen too. But it's really just a narrative buster because a lot of people are unaware that this is happening. Like, people think that SpaceX is structurally unprofitable and that its AI division is structurally unprofitable. They're used to these companies not producing any profit. So it's going to hit them like a truck when Q3 comes out, and there's going to be like $2 billion worth of profit. The AI segment is going to be extremely profitable. Okay, for Q3, it might not be extremely profitable yet, but it is going to be profitable by a good bit, almost $1 billion or so, maybe more than $1 billion. So, when the AI segment turns profitable and the first GAAP profitable quarter happens, then nobody can say that SpaceX is an unprofitable company anymore. So, like, from this point on, each quarter is going to get more profitable than the last. And importantly, this is the first quarter on our way to S&P 500 inclusion, which will happen in September 2027. That's not going to be covered in this video since we're only covering things that will happen in 2026 in this video. But you do need to be profitable in a trailing 12-month period in order to qualify for inclusion, and this is the first step. So we're rolling off an unprofitable quarter, and we're going to tag on this profitable quarter. This will be fun because you can go around on the forums and on X, and you can say, hey, SpaceX is now a profitable company, and from this point on, every quarter is going to be profitable. So we got that going for us in early October, I believe. That's when their earnings might come out. And then we have Starship Flight 15. Now, 15, which will happen in mid-October, this is the one where we really want to see the booster catch. Now, we're not expecting booster catch for Flight 14 because they haven't even done a soft splashdown in the Gulf. Assuming they do a soft splashdown in the Gulf for 14, which is coming up at the end of the month, then for 15, they're going to try to catch the booster. And then if they catch the booster here, then the reusability will be there finally, because you'll have caught the booster and you will have caught the ship, presumably, and you'll also be deploying orbital payloads. So you have a potentially fully reusable booster stage and ship stage. So then you have a reusable Starship. So we're looking for that to happen mid-October. And then by November, we're looking for new data center campuses to be announced. Now, this is important because we currently have Colossus 1 and Colossus 2. This is good for maybe 2.5 gigawatts max, all right? That's enough for our end of 2026 goal of 2+ gigawatts, right? That's the goal. But in order to hit $300 for the stock at the end of 2027, January 2028, we're looking for 8 gigawatts. And we're hitting the maximum amount of electricity that can be supplied to these two campuses alone. So there needs to be a new data center campus announced by November 2026. If there's not, then where are we going to get the gigawatt expansion from? Right? So there are a couple sites that are in play. Like, if you take a look at how Elon buys plots of land for data centers, he uses this company. Was it MZ? MZ something. He has a shell company. For some reason, I forgot the name right now. But he has 2 plots of land already in Mississippi. There's a potential Pampa expansion in Texas for 2 gigawatts. So, like, the shell companies that he uses to buy these data centers already have the land. We just need to have some sort of announcement that land is in fact going to be used for a data center, and then we're going to have the we don't need groundbreaking because there's already a warehouse there. It's already a powered shell. We just need to have an announcement that that's going to be used for the gigawatt expansion that's coming. So we need this to happen by November-ish. So by Q1, there'll be meaningful actual power to that powered shell warehouse, so that by Q1 2026, there will actually be an expansion over Q4 2026. Because again, by the end of Q4 2026, the Colossus 2 thing will be maxed. So looking for that. And the last thing we want to see here is Terafab progress by December 2026. Now, by right now, the land there's been drone shots already by John Techmeyer. You see the land has been cleared out. They've cut down the trees. Okay, so the construction prep has started, but we're looking for additional construction by December 2026. Okay, we were looking for some vertical progress here. We want slab pours, and we want the steel beams going up, and the steel beams going down. Like, they need to go down to the foundation and up into the sky, right? So we want that, and then we want to see the you ever go to a big construction site, you're going to have like this trailer city where all the workers are housed. Like, we just need visible, real construction, make sure it's not vaporware. And so we want that huge trailer city. We want to see the steel beams, and we want to see the concrete pours by December. And that should be enough progress for me. So that's it by the end of 2026. If these things happen, then we're going to be reasonably on track for $300 by January 2028. Again, the main story is all about the data center build out. That's how we get the actual valuation there. The Starship is important for the vibes. We are going to need the vibes in the near term in order to keep the stock up. I think around 175, perhaps 180 is a good target by the end of this year if everything here happens. And Starship's going to be part of that. Now, of course, it's going to be needed because at the tail end of 2027, in order for direct-to-cell service to really get going, you're going to need a lot of these V3s. And in order to get those V3s, you're going to need the Starship to do well. So it's not like it's for nothing. But so we want to see progress there. The Terafab is really a call option because, okay, the two call options here are Terafab and the first-party service of Grok, because those are not needed for 2028, but they are like important categories that can really justify a much higher valuation if there's any significant progress. Grok, when I made the initial call for 300 by January 2028, I wasn't really expecting a lot of progress here in Grok. But if there is significant progress and there is significant demand, again, that demand for Grok inference is worth more to SpaceX than selling that compute to Anthropic. So if you have that compute and you serve it first party Grok through organic demand for Grok, you make more money than if you sell it to another party. Because that other party, the other party, when they buy the compute, they can say that we can charge a premium on the compute and then we sell it to the customer, right? So they collect from here to here, and then that's money that's lost to SpaceX. So if SpaceX can buy or sell that themselves, they make more money, and then their valuation is higher. Same thing for the Terafab. This is not going to be material for this year or next year. We're really looking for 2028, maybe some materiality. We just want to see progress. The plant itself, when it's operational, is going to be worth a ton of money. So as 2026 goes and as 2027 goes, we just want to see progress towards its completion. Now, we're not, if you take a look at the picture here, we're looking at, people are suspecting this is some sort of particle accelerator. We don't need that, right? We just want the shell itself start producing some DDR5 by 2028, right? So these are the two call options. We mainly are focusing on the data center announcements. We want to see those announcements, and we want to see progress on those data centers. And that's pretty much it. With this in place, we're on our way for 300 by 2028. Now we'll go quickly. We'll take a look at my portfolio. How do I exit? Here we go. So we'll quickly take a look at the bet I placed here and how we're. So Reddit, I posted earlier, I placed 50K trade to make 500K. I've expanded this. I've now bought 1,058 contracts of a 290-300 spread call expiring January 2028 for an average of $1. So this will 10x if it's 300 in January 2028, and this 100,000 will turn into over $1 million. This is what we'll be tracking for fun over the course of the next year. So hopefully this goes up. And that's it. That's it for this episode of the SpaceX Bagholder Podcast. All right. See you later. Okay. The other thing is, I think most episodes of SpaceX Bagholder Podcast now will be just go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify. The YouTube channel, if there's a graphic needed, as there was for this video, we'll put it up on YouTube. Otherwise, it's just going to be on the podcast form, and the YouTube channel will just be for portfolio updates and that sort of thing. All right. That's it. Bye-bye.